So we're now 2 days separated from Jones versus Reyes, and it leaves us with a bunch of questions. What happens next in the light heavyweight division? Do we see Dominick Reyes get the rematch? I don't think we're going to see that. Do I think Reyes deserves it? Absolutely. I thought he won the fucking fight, like everyone else did, I assume. But is he going to get a rematch? I don't think the UFC is going to do that, because that typically doesn't make sense. I know it was a robbery, but in history, if we look back, when is the last time a title challenger has got a rematch against a champion? Doesn't happen very fucking often, you know what I'm saying? So that might not be what happens next. So let's start moving on with the division. I know we could dwell on the robbery, but we've still got a bunch of cards to come and fun fights to talk about. So let's make some more fights for the light heavyweight division. We've got a complete open booking pretty much, other than a few fights in the top 10. I'm looking forward to this. Jon Jones, what does he do next? I feel like right now, Jon Jones, listen, fuck off for a bit. You know what I'm saying? Just fuck off for a bit. Don't take the Corey Anderson fight if Anderson beats Blachowicz. Just fuck off for a bit and let the division marinate a little bit, okay? And let us build a challenger for you the organic way, because Dominick Reyes should have got a way more credit leading into that fight, but he didn't. You know why? Because we had every right to discredit Dominick Reyes. No one at light heavyweight that gets a title shot has any chance of proving themselves before Jon Jones has picked him. Thiago Santos beat Blachowicz for a title shot. Blachowicz is ranked number 6. Anthony Smith beat fucking Ozdemir for a title shot, I believe. He's number 7. Like, let's marinate some of these top contenders and build a real good contender. So I feel like right now, Jon Jones, fuck off until maybe October or November. Is that fair to say? Jon Jones, just fuck off until the end of... Not the end of the year. October, November. 6 months away. Not 6 months. 10 months away. 9 months away. Just wait a little bit, Jon Jones, okay? Let me build the division real quick, because we've got Thiago Santos coming off a loss, coming off an injury, looking to come back at UFC 250 in May. People say Thiago Santos... Listen, Thiago Santos and Jon Jones was a split decision. Reyes beat Jon Jones. They have a very similar trait there. They're both coming off losses to Jon Jones, and if Dominick Reyes wants a surefire way of getting back at Jon Jones, he should be screaming for that Thiago Santos fight in Brazil. You know what kind of fucking storyline that is? To get Dominick Reyes' title shot back, and I feel like that's an anticipated fight right now. People want to watch Dominick Reyes because people, a lot of them, see Dominick Reyes as the light heavyweight champion of the world. People want to see that shit. Reyes should be looking for the Santos fight. It makes sense. Santos is 1 and Reyes is number 4. So it does make sense to make that fight, especially where they're both ranked and when they're both coming off losses. If Reyes wants to take advantage of Santos coming back off of an injury and maybe having a long time out of the octagon and a little bit of ring rust, if Reyes goes out there and smokes Santos in Brazil, that storyline for the Jones rematch. So not only do we have the promo of that Reyes beat Jon Jones the first time, but we now have the promo of, oh, you know that other guy you went to a split decision with? I just smoked him. That gets you a rematch with Jon Jones. And I feel like that should be the next move for Dominick Reyes. I want to see Thiago Santos versus Dominick Reyes in May. And if they don't want to do it then, do it a bit later, because I know Reyes has just gone through an absolute war. And I'm not sure on the whereabouts of Thiago Santos' knee ligaments. So, yeah. I don't know when they're going to be healed up in time. So we'll see what happens in terms of scheduling, but that's the fight I want to see next. Santos versus Reyes. I'll tell you this. Reyes winning last night, or the two nights ago, was one of the best things that could ever happen to the light heavyweight division. Right now, there's interest because Jon Jones is fucking beatable. And we saw that shit. And we're starting to notice with the rest of this division, oh wait, what did Ozdemir do to Reyes? Oh wait, like... We're starting to look at these guys in the division in a very different way after what we saw 2 nights ago. Okay, I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to harp on about the robbery. I'm not going to harp on about the fact that I thought Dominick Reyes won, and the only excuse I gave was maybe round 3 because there was a takedown, and then I rewatched and there wasn't actually a takedown, so I take away that excuse. Definitely Dominick Reyes won. I just feel like it's interesting. So moving on, we've got Santos versus Reyes. That's definitely the fight I want to see next. Maybe not in May in Brazil. Maybe a little bit later. Maybe on International Fight Week. Who knows? International Fight Week, pay-per-view main card. Usman versus Masvidal. Sounds fucking good to me, if you ask me. Sounds amazing, to be honest. Next up, we've got a big fight between Anthony Smith and Glover Teixeira in UFC Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. It's a good fight. It's not the fight that's going to get Anthony Smith a title shot. I think he's aware of that. Anthony Smith knows. His first outing against Jones wasn't the most impressive. He did beat Gustafsson. I rate him for that. But Glover Teixeira ain't title elimination bout. And he knows that. And I think he's taking this one because he thinks it's going to be a good win. And I think he is going to win the fight. Something to pay attention to is his hand injury. But I think that he wouldn't be fighting if it was still terrible. And Glover Teixeira, let's face it, it's a good win, I feel like, for Anthony Smith to get right now. It really is. For him to develop as a fighter and string some good wins together, I feel like the next fight that would be the best would be Glover Teixeira, and they've made it. So that's perfect for Anthony Smith right now. I feel like he's going to get that win. First of all, remove Daniel Cormier from the rankings. He hasn't been here in so fucking long. And not only is he not been there, I don't care that he's not been there in so long. You can keep guys there if you want, if they haven't been there for a while. But he's expressed no interest in coming back down, and he says he's got one fight left at heavyweight with Stipe Miocic. We know he's retiring and not coming back down to light heavyweight. Remove him because you're making the rest of the division look bad by hogging up a ranking spot and moving everyone down by one where they really should be. Move him out. I don't understand. Daniel Cormier, fuck off, so that Anthony Smith and Dominick Reyes can be 2 and 3 rather than 3 and 4. You know what I'm saying? Let's make the division look a little bit nicer here. Take out the bit of the trash. You know what I mean? Jan Blachowicz versus Corey Anderson. The rematch is happening. I feel like here's what you do. You do the winner of Anthony Smith versus Glover Teixeira versus the winner of Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz. And at the end of April, we could do that again in about September. I think if Reyes goes out there and smokes Santos, he could secure a rematch because that's a big fight. But at the same time, if Glover Teixeira beats Anthony Smith and Corey Anderson beats Jan Blachowicz in the rematch, Corey Anderson's already beat Glover Teixeira. And Jones might not want to wait until November. So this is all dependent on what Jones wants to do. I don't think he's going to move to heavyweight because I think he needs to refocus himself after that Reyes fight. I really do. I think he needs to really humble himself. Stop this whole act like he can't be beaten by anyone and no one's going to pose any kind of threat whatsoever. People are posing threats to you, John. You need to address it, and I think we need to see him just pump the brakes a little bit, you know? Take some time, recuperate, and come back like a man on a mission, you know? We'll see what happens with John Jones. But those are the fights I want to see. The winner of Anthony Smith versus Glover Teixeira versus the winner of Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz in a fight night main event. That would be a huge fight. Just build the momentum in 2 different areas and build them into one great contender of a division. And we'll see what happens with Dominick Reyes and Thiago Santos. Who knows? Let's make those fights. Moving on down the rankings. You've got Volkan Ozdemir. There are some fights that he could take here. And we'll see what fights he does take. He could take the Shogun Rua fight because there's history there. I know it's not the best fight in terms of ranking, but they were supposed to fight each other a very long time ago. And if you remember, Anthony Smith came in on short notice and beat Shogun Rua, I believe. I can't remember where that was. It was somewhere in Europe, I believe. I'm not too sure, but that was the fight night, I'm sure. It's got some history. I know it's not the best fight in the world, but even still, Volkan Ozdemir could also take on maybe a guy like if Glover Teixeira ended up beating Anthony Smith. We could do Volkan Ozdemir versus Glover Teixeira. Because if Glover Teixeira beats Anthony Smith, he's not getting a title shot. So Ozdemir, Glover Teixeira would be a good fight there. But if we want to keep Ozdemir active and give him a fight right now, I feel like a fight with Misha Serkinov would be very good. That's a co-main event of a fight night for me. I like it. Co-main event of a fight night. Headliner of a prelims or a main card of a pay-per-view. Probably a main card of a pay-per-view, honestly, as we've been seeing these recent pay-per-views, I'll be honest with you. That's a great fight. Ozdemir versus Misha Serkinov. Amazing. Great fight. Let's make it. It makes all the sense in the world. I want to fucking see it. We've already seen it once. I want to see it again. Ozdemir clipped him behind the ear. I want to see it again. That was bullshit, okay? I got robbed of a nice little fight because Ozdemir just fucking dinked him straight away and we got to see nothing. Make the rematch. Make it happen. And that's what I want to see next. Ozdemir versus Serkinov. Let's keep these guys active. Moving on. Glover Teixeira is obviously taking on Anthony Smith. Alexander Rakic should take on the loser of Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz. He's a young guy. Take some time. Watch the fights this weekend. See what happens. See who you like. See who you think you're going to have a better chance of beating. Start rooting for the other guy to lose. I feel like that's the fight for him. Because he is coming off a loss, but at the same time, he does deserve a bit of a jump up the rankings because I thought he won that Ozdemir fight. I'll be honest with you. And a lot of people thought he won that Ozdemir fight as well. I thought it was quite clear. It was a close fight, don't get me wrong. I mean, it wasn't as clear as Reyes versus Jones. Stop bringing it up, guys. Jesus Christ. Why you guys keep bringing it up? It's weird how you keep bringing up that robbery. But it was a close fight, you know? It was a very close fight. Closer than Reyes versus Jones, which was a robbery. It's crazy. Rakic versus the loser of Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz makes sense to me, especially if it's Rakic versus Blachowicz. That's just fun to say. And I think it is going to be Blachowicz that loses the Corey Anderson fight. That's just fun to say. Rakic, Blachowicz. I love it. Blachowicz, Rakic. In Europe somewhere. I know there's a fight night coming up in Europe. Let's book it for that. As the co-main event. Sounds good to me. Very nice. Blachowicz versus Rakic. Sounds good. Johnny Walker versus Nikita Krylov is taking place. Dangerous for Johnny Walker, first of all. But if he does win, full steam ahead, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. I feel like the days of him just being hurled towards the top 5 are maybe over. I think he's lost a bit of that steam. I don't think this is as highly an anticipated fight as him versus Corey Anderson, of course. Or him versus Misha Serkinov. I know people are looking forward to see Johnny Walker fight, but this is definitely a step down. He needs to make short work of Krylov, and Krylov is dangerous. So I feel like if Johnny Walker does win this one, maybe we can do Johnny Walker. Who knows what we're going to do, to be honest with you. Who the fuck knows? I don't actually know. Fuck sake. Johnny Walker versus the winner of Ozdemir versus Serkinov that I've just magically made. There's a lot of dependency on this light heavyweight division right now. But I think that's a great fight. Johnny Walker versus the winner of Serkinov versus Ozdemir. Makes sense to me. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Who cares what happens? Let's do it. If we need to see Misha Serkinov get flying knee in the head again, we need to see Misha Serkinov get flying knee in the head again. That's just how it works. I think Ozdemir wins, and Ozdemir versus Walker is a much more fun fight. And also, Ozdemir is not going to be getting jumped up the rankings anytime soon. I mean, he's lost to a bunch of the guys in the top of the rankings right now. Anthony Smith, Dominick Reyes, to name a few. Sounds good to me. Jacare Souza needs to leave the light heavyweight rankings. He's moving back down to middleweight. Fuck off and let someone real come into the rankings. We've got a bunch of guys outside the rankings, but we're not going to talk about them. I think I've laid out the division. What I want to see next, Reyes versus Santos. Whenever that needs to be, that's the storyline that needs to be built. Jones, fuck off for a bit and let us build a little division while you're gone. Winner of Anthony Smith Teixeira faces the winner of Anderson versus Blachowicz. Ozdemir versus Serkinov. Johnny Walker, if he wins against... We're not even going to talk about Johnny Walker because Krylov's a fucking dangerous fight for him. So we'll see how that one goes. I feel like that's good. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Let's move on. Click that button there. We don't need to just focus on the robbery so much. I don't know why you guys keep bringing it up. Yeah? And we know Reyes beat Jones. Stop mentioning it. You know what I mean? I don't understand why you guys keep saying it. We know he beat Jones. 3 rounds to 2. It's obvious. You don't have to keep saying it, you know? But give him the Santos rematch. Or give him the Santos fight next. If he beats him, that's a big fucking storyline. And right now, the light heavyweight division is more interesting than ever. Single-handedly, Dominick Reyes has woken up the light heavyweight division. Like and subscribe. Click that button there. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.